So hey, yeah, I'm back, and I know it's been a while, and I'm super used to saying that. I'm sure you're super used to hearing it because A, I'm on a hiatus all the time, and B, I've done so many of these recordings, so I know I haven't made a video in a long time. But I just want to say quickly that it's probably just part of my brand now, and I'm sure you're all used to it. So if you are used to it, thank you for still watching and tuning in. Happy holidays, happy New Year's. I hope you guys all had a good time. I know COVID's kind of crazy right now, but I think that's just how it is. I hope you guys are all safe though, and your families are good as well. Now, of course, I haven't been posting on my Instagram or my YouTube, and I kind of want to just tell you exactly why. Because I actually have a career besides YouTube. Obviously, YouTube isn't a career at the moment, but I'm a middle school teacher, and I also lift competitively, and YouTube is basically the one that takes the short end of the stick. Now, those three are my passions right now, and I don't want to give up any of them, but obviously YouTube I make the least amount of income from and revenue, and lifting for me is therapeutic, so I have to do that. I have to put time into that. And then teaching is my career, and I've been really loving working with these kids, and I love coaching, putting my extra time and doing whatever I can to get my foot in the door and try to get a job as a full-time middle school teacher at the school I like. So those are just some of the reasons why I haven't been posting as regularly and as often as I used to. So thank you if you are understanding that, and if you're not, well, thanks for watching. So I kind of want to talk, if you could tell by the title of the video, the fact that this is going to be a wrap up of my lifting from this year. And obviously, as some of you may know, the goal was for me to get to nationals and lift there. So I was really just about 5 to 15 pounds from my total to get there. But nationals this year actually has an asterisk, meaning that because of COVID, my previous numbers from provincials were going to be good enough. And just from looking at my other lifts here on my iPhone, I realized that my total from my last meet was 12-12, and I placed 5th with a 12-12 total, and I had 430 on my squat, 270 bench, and a 512 deadlift because I missed my 557 deadlift, but that's because of my grip at the time. So those were the numbers I had, and I didn't know what I wanted to have going forward, but because of those numbers right there, I realized that those were actually still good enough to be nationals with an asterisk because of COVID. So I knew that going into this year that lifting was going to be fine for me. I knew that I was going to be able to go to nationals anyways, but I pretended and I tried to lift with motivation that I wasn't good enough to go to nationals. I don't want to go to nationals knowing that I only made it because of nationals. I wanted to get there because I knew I was strong enough to be there. I deserved to be there. I wanted to know that I deserved to be there. At the time, my total was about, at the start of this year, sorry, at the start of 2021, I realized that my numbers were pretty close. I was about 5 to 15 pounds, like I said earlier, and I was working and aiming and lifting so hard in order to get there. But I faced a couple problems that are glaring issues or weaknesses of mine. So number one was that at the strongest point, I was weighing at 198. So that means I have to lose a bunch of weight and get down to at least 183 by meet day. Number two was hook grip. Hook grip helps me lift probably anywhere from 5 to 20 pounds extra on my deadlift. So it's imperative that I get those pounds on if I were to go compete nationally. I needed those pounds, but I couldn't do that without mastering hook grip. So those are some of the issues that we're facing. Now with the weight one, it was pretty easy to figure out throughout the year because all I had to do was just diet and run. But the problem with that was I had to also gain muscle while I was doing my runs and doing cardio while I was on a caloric deficit, and that was the hard part. That was really hard on my body. So knowing that, I just went ahead with it anyways, and obviously lifting was really hard and life was pretty hard. I was very, very busy. I still kept with it. I got to my meet, and at my meet, I didn't weigh in. I was actually like 184.3 pounds, and I didn't make it. And it was hard because when I was at that meet, I spat into a cup, and it's this little trick you do where you eat candy and you spit into a cup in order to make weight, and I lost 2 pounds doing that, and I still couldn't weigh in at the desired weight at the time, which really sucked. So that was one of the issues I had, that I couldn't figure out in time, and a big part of that was because my weight scale wasn't accurate, and that's what really threw me off. But it's all in the past, so it is what it is. And then hook grip wise, I never actually got to master hook grip, and I don't know why. I still need to figure it out. So I decided that I was just gonna go with mixed grip instead. And with mixed grip, I was gonna be pretty confident doing that, and I think I was gonna be just fine. So even though I at the time did make weight and I couldn't compete, and it sucked because I paid all this money for the ferry and the hotel and the tournament fees, it was over $500, all went to nothing, and I came home with 2 t-shirts that I didn't deserve or earn, which really sucked, but it is what it is. The one thing that I could think about, and one thing that really kept me in good spirits, was to know where I came from. And from my last meet, I realized that I had a 430 squat, and now I was hitting a 463 in gym PR. And at the comp, I was geared to hit 470 or 475, and I was confident that I would. Also, my deadlift was 557 or 512 at that time, and I realized that at the meet I was probably going to hit 585 or maybe even 600. Who knows? I might have had a really good day. I don't know. And then with my bench, I was hitting a 270 bench at my last meet, and I realized that I was going to hit like a 290 or 295 bench at my meet. And it just goes to show that over time, if you just keep putting time in, you are going to get better. And even though I didn't get to compete, I realized that I still got better. And those are just some of the things that kept me going. Now, because I was so disappointed, I did take a week off, and it sucked because I realized that when I go back to gym, I'm gonna be super weak and I won't be able to lift the exact same way that I did before. But that's just all part of it, right? That's all part of lifting. And although I couldn't be as strong as I was before, I knew that I was going to be able to get there with the correct programming and diet. So eventually I took my week off, and I came back, and I had a good week of lifting, which was great. I was feeling pretty good again. And then I got COVID. I got COVID for a little bit. So I took 3 weeks off because of COVID. So then now my training is all over the place, and I'm starting from zero, which is unfortunate. But again, it is what it is. And that's where we are now. And because we are here now, this is why I want to make this video, is to explain to you guys that even though that I was at this really strong point in my life, and even though I had failures and I wanted to quit lifting because I couldn't compete, these are all things that lifters all go through. I hurt my back 3 times, and every single of those times I thought about quitting, but I never did. You know, I didn't make this meet, but I'm not gonna quit because I know that I'm gonna get better. So I am excited to see what will happen going forward in 2022 with my lifts. I'm excited to see where my lifts are now and what they're gonna be later, because I know I'm gonna put in the time in order to do so. So this is where you guys all come in, because I wanna make videos at least once a week talking about my lifts, and I want to show all the sheets. I want to show you guys what I'm doing, what RPE I'm doing, and what numbers I'm doing as well. That way you guys can follow along, or you can do it yourselves. Now obviously this program is meant for me and not for any of you guys, but if you are looking to get something more specific, or if this program doesn't work for you the way it works for me, you can always just DM my coach, and I'll leave a link somewhere here for you as well. I'm excited to see what 2022 is going to bring me, and I'm excited to bring you guys along the journey with me, because it seems like powerlifting is always going to be a sport that's more so about the journey than it ever will be about the destination. I mean, no, I got that wrong. I actually think powerlifting is all about the destination and never about the journey, because every time you hit a PR, you're always going to ask yourself what's next, and that's where I'm at. I want to figure out what's next for me, and I think that's what 2022 is all about, and I think that's what these videos are really all about as well. They're really going to help us all figure out where we're going to go with these programs and these lifts. So yeah, I'm going to try posting more videos going forward. You can expect more review videos, and you can probably expect more lifting videos from me as well. And if any of those things kind of interest you, make sure you subscribe and follow along. Just know that if you ever do like the video, subscribe, I do appreciate it, and definitely leave a comment as well. I love it. It's hard for me to respond to all of them sometimes, but I mean, I don't have a lot of comments, but I don't know, it's kind of hard for me to respond sometimes, so I just know that I do appreciate it. Thank you guys again for all watching this video and listening to me ramble about my lifting in a year. I'm excited to see where it goes. So yeah, I'll bring you guys along with me, and I'm excited to see where your lifts go as well. Have a good one, guys. Thank you for watching. Peace.